Next up in our knot videos is the Zeppelin Bend. This is actually my favorite bend. I think it's great. It took me a long time to learn to tie because it's kind of weird. But historically speaking, it was used to tie down Zeppelins, which are basically blimps or airships, during, I believe, the Second World War, I guess. Something like that. And the nice thing about them is I'll go ahead and tie and show you an example of how it's supposed to look in the end. They can hold a whole lot of weight. Two lines pulling the opposite direction very, very hard, and they're still easy to get undone, no matter how much weight is put on them. So I like that because to me that seems very practical. So this is what the end knot seems like. And if you watch here, I'm going to pull. I really am putting as much pressure on that as I can. And still, even as small as this string is, which typically amplifies how hard it is to undo a knot, I just untied it. That simple. So, cool. I'm going to have a hard time explaining this one. I'm sorry if I'm not very good. I know there's alternate methods. Just go ahead and picture a lambda for me. And a lambda, as you may or may not know, is a shape. Just look at my finger from the knuckle up here and the knuckle up here. It's like that. It's almost like a triangle, but a little bit of a tail comes out over the top. It's the symbol that's on the shield of the Spartans. It's a very common Greek letter. It's used for equations. It's used for fraternities. It's used for whatever else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my two pieces of rope. I like to have the one in my right hand in front and the one in my left hand behind. But with those two pieces of rope, I'm basically going to make a lambda. Okay? So I've got my one piece running up this way, and there's the tail on the end, and then there's the other piece of the triangle. I don't know if you can see that or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the front rope, I'm going to take it around in front of both of the ropes, making a loop as I do that. I'll make it real wide out here with my finger so you can see it. Then I'm going to come behind both ropes and up through that loop, like so. Then, with my back rope, I'm going to take it behind the two loops and just underneath this string on the right. And then I'm going to take it across. You can see how this string that hangs right here kind of goes across the bottom of the two ropes. I'm going to take it across the bottom as well, but it's going to come out the opposite direction. So, unlike the square knot where you want everything going the same direction, on this one, I want everything going in different directions. Now, that's the proper tie, but it's going to take me a second to kind of do what's called dressing the knot. I'm going to tighten everything up, make it all nice and pretty, ideally. It's kind of hard to tie with this small string. I just wanted something white to contrast with this black background of the table. Of course, I may have just failed in tying it. If you, play back those instructions, watch me do this in slow-mo and or try it yourself, and I'm going to try and tie it the proper way instead of really big and demonstratively for you. So I would come like that, and I would come through like this. I'm going to use my teeth a little bit here to help me hold on to that line while I tighten everything down. Okay, now, something about that's not coming out the way I want. May edit this out, may not. Sorry if I don't, just bear with me, we're almost there. It's just, it's harder when I'm trying to get this stuff on camera. Alright, I don't want that flipping that way. Just like this. Yes, okay, that's better-ish. So what you were looking for in the end knot is a lot of symmetry. You've got these two coming out the opposite direction. These two are perpendicular. Should have some, 90-degree angles in here. These two are pulled out to the sides, and they control the loops that go around this way. These two go out horizontally, not vertically, and they control the two that are coming across like that right there. So that's what you're looking for. I may just scrap this video. I did a really bad job of explaining it. I'll try one more time, but that's the ideal situation because, again, it can hold such a huge load and still is really not that much trouble to get back untied. So let's see if I could maybe do it down on the table, if that would show up for you. I just need a better way to hold this line so it doesn't all sink. So there's the first part of my lambda, right? Like, actually, just to show you the shape. That's, God, I can never hold these strings still. That's kind of what the lambda should look like that you're looking for. But instead, I'm going to pull these up like that next to each other, right? So then this one in front is going to come all the way around the front like that. Then I'm going to call this my bottom here where these two cross. Then I'm going to take it from behind up and out the bottom. So it's going to go underneath these two ropes, and it's just going to lay across the bottom right there, right? So then I'm going to take out my back rope, and it's going to go behind everything. It's not going to go on top. It's going to go behind that, behind this, and then I'm also going to lay it across the bottom, and it's going to come out the back. It's going to come out the opposite direction of this standing end, because remember, we want we want everything to be perpendicular. So then I'm going to tighten it all up, and hopefully, oh yeah, this actually might have ended up being a good demonstration. That's exactly what the knot is supposed to look like right there. Right? Unless you look the same on both sides. Lots of symmetry in this knot, very pretty knot. And so again, you see if I stretch it all out, I've got my 90-degree angles in here. And if I can pull on the knot a lot, I can still release, no problem. And of course, this knot can always be adjusted so that your tails aren't quite as long and you have more line on either end. So that's that.